Yeah, I will talk first about HIV people. When we talk about HIV, is a situation where no-go area, where everybody no wanted to be. You see, I realized when I came in Ghana, not only in Ghana, when I was in Tunisia, it was a situation where was a bad condition of people, and people are rejected. I can tell you the other people was buried alive. So my heart was melt just to go close to such people. Immediately when I come close to them, they look at me, there's a hope built on them. And from then, by God's grace, I didn't do that, but God have done it. When we talk about what I am doing, like mad people, those are, nobody want to meet the person. The orphan people, those have been maltreated, there's a lot. But let's go back to the HIV, which marked my mind. I can never forget it, and I committed it to end it. Like it or not, HIV, it must end because it stayed with us so long.
I mean, you're talking about people whose families have kind of, washed their hands off them. And the question that kept coming to me this morning, why? Why them?
Because what they know about HIV for them is you have HIV, your name is dead. You have HIV, you are shame in the family.
Indeed.
You have HIV, you're not supposed to be where you are now. You have HIV, keep quiet and sit down over there.
Your views do not matter.
We will talk for you. It means to dump somebody down.
Yeah.
And even now, as a people in the houses, do their family know this is a situation? Father, mother, daughter, son, they are dying. They are in the houses as I'm talking. And even when someone tests positive in hospital in bad condition, excuse me to say this, even the nurse, they know that person will not go to make it.
So how much of an impact have we made in this space since you started caring for persons living with HIV and AIDS? Specifically, what do you do for them? And how impactful has it been?
The impact is wonderful. I can talk to you, over 2,000 people, over 2,000 pass with me. And today, when you look at them, no, you can't even imagine this is a HIV person. You get it? Impact is to see someone with a meningitis, with the virus of HIV, struck down, blunt, come back alive, stand and start to work. To see someone who was convinced to die, after to approach a person, you see the person start to come alive. It means when we talk about impact of what God achieved through me is recommendable to give a space to such situation to be able to look at it for the second time. Because today, when we talk about ART is a medicine, no medicine, is a food supplement. If we look inside very well, when
are you talking about the antiretroviral?
Antiretroviral.
Okay.
When we look at it very well, when somebody loses his immune system to one CD4 count, he take the ART, it will take him out. You get it?
Sure.
Oh, yes.
So you've been getting the ARTs for your...
ART, this opportunistic disease, it means what the person needs to receive.
Of course.
I'm doing that.
Of course. At least we know what the motivation is for you. This is a very benevolent act, if you ask me. How are you able to identify these, people that you're supporting? How are you able to pick them up?
I go school, hospital, everywhere.
Okay.
But with my experience, when I look at you, even you are healthy, when I look at you, I understand what is disturbing you. Yeah.
And so you go in there, usually will talk to authorities of the facility for the schools. Have you picked people from the streets before?
Oh, yeah.
You picked them up from the streets as well?
Many.
And then where do you take them?
God is so good. I have some small place in Tema. By God's grace, we are developing. That is where we sit down. I come with them. We sit down together as a family. Start to go with all the process to the level where God allowed them to stand.
Listen, I mean, and I know you know this. I work in this space, and I know that funding such, initiatives or activities, it's very expensive. And when that calling happened, did you think how you were going to find money to fund it? And indeed, all this while, let's even take the Ghana situation, into perspective. How have you been able to fund it? 16 and a half years, going on to 17.
Yeah, I didn't first think about how to fund it. I engage, I am working. Immediately, anything come to my hand, by God's grace, is a tick and tack. I meet you, what is your need? Whatever I have, I am using it, medicine, hospital, food, we get it. And before you realize, I don't get any income. I don't get anybody say this every month he give money or organization anytime he send money to me. No, it's anything come in my hand. That is why if you come to my place, you see the condition it is. All the investment, it didn't go to my pocket, but it go to life of people those cross my way.
I mean, listening to you and knowing exactly what the situation is, I have sat here time and outnumber and spoken about all of these social intervention projects that are supposed to be in place, to make the lives of some of these very, vulnerable ones better. And the fact that they are almost non-existent. What do you make of the social infrastructural policies across Africa, especially those countries that you have been to, including Ghana?
The situation is so pathetic. It's so complicated. When we talk about the social aspects, wherever I pass to, there's many people still live in ignorance. Do not even understand where they are and what is happening and which way, what door to knock. And of course, people, those supposed to stand and to consider another person. Let us take example of Algeria. Algeria, I will tell you, excuse me to say, it's a criminal attitude and mentality. No one is for anyone. I recollect some time ago, we was distributing Bible. When you have a Bible over there, they cut your head. So it was 2 o'clock, everybody are in their house because of the heat. So we had deposited the Bible to the doors, and one day one of us was be cut. Then we look at a distance the way they was treated our colleague. We advised ourselves to spare ourselves. So social aspects, we needed to review it. We need to review it, and some places is difficult even for them to, because they are fighting each day, each minute for himself. But it's here.
But why do you think it's becoming almost, impossible?
Listening to this, Baisiwa, excuse me to say this, selfishness attitude. Everybody wants to receive, not to give. Even when you have it enough, it's difficult to give. And that is where situation becomes so complicated.
Because I ask these questions because then funding issues, and I'm sure that, look, if you're watching me and you have a story to tell as well, I'm sure you would want to share with us. If indeed we have these things that we talk about, all of these social, infrastructural, policies properly placed in our societies, funding issues wouldn't have been a problem. Because what I see you do, and indeed I can relate, I'm sure that you can relate as well as you watching, always go cap in hand and begging, you know, for funds. Could it be as well that we probably don't even understand, you know, exactly what it means to be doing the kind of work that you're doing?
In another way, personally, those supposed to stand and come and push, that is like, what is this? What is showing? You know, let us take example of someone in the prison. He came out of the prison. That person will not get anywhere to go. His wife, his family, they see him as a criminal. But the person in the prison where he was, what he go through is a refined already, and he set his mind to not go back over there. And when he come to find the situation, and no one is there to welcome him, even when we was smile with him, give him money, oh, how are you? Oh, when you come out, we will meet. Immediately he come out, they start to shine on you. No one will accept you. I chest out, say, this property I get is not mine. It's for the youth. And I dedicate it for the development of the Africa. Anyone is ready, come, let us build a rehabilitation center. Yeah. We'll get mission house, and we'll get clinic, we'll get lab, we'll get a place where people can reason together, and we'll get a conference hall, and of course, place where people can relax. We get it? But everybody, as I'm talking, they need, when you get something like that, first him. You no come second, you are third person.
Well, the various governments, and I'm still looking at it across the region, the African region, various governments themselves are shunning their responsibilities as to exactly their role, you know, in all of this when it comes to social intervention issues. In Ghana, for instance, our social welfare system is almost non-existent. I mean, it's not a priority, and it's a problem. How best do you think that going forward, our various governments can begin to work effectively in this area?
You go to the government. I'm not a politician, but I will say something. You know, let us go to the social welfare. To the social welfare, those have responsibility to zoom into situation and how to go about what's supposed to be done. But what exact, I don't know if do you not pay them well. I don't know if I don't
all
know.
Of that have been issues in Ghana, and I'm actually privy to the Ghana situation. So lack of budgetary support, you know, to the institution, that obviously affects everything, because then if you don't have enough funds, then you can't run effectively per the constitution.
Excuse me to say this, you know, when we talk about a government, who is a government?
Well, you and I are all part of government.
As the people have a possibility.
Yes.
It's not to just we look at the government, then we will not go forward, we will not go further. I hope everyone outside there who understand his ability and capability, if only, you know, today the babies are suffering. Women pregnant is no one to give birth. You want he give birth, you leave the baby somewhere. And when he reach to the social welfare, who are supposed to take them to put them somewhere, and it's come like if you give the baby come out, you will carry the baby again. Everyone is denied his responsibility. I think it's the people with the problem. To fix them where they must do as a work to bring a solution, because the problem itself is a solution to the problem. We need the people. Those have those challenges to be fixed and to be taught and to be educated, and you will see the result will come out.
So what's a shared responsibility really? In as much as you and I have a role, the government of the day as well pay our various constitutions. If you travel across, you know, the African region, as well have a role. So what you're suggesting is that if everybody is able to play their roles effectively, then we probably might be able to be dealing with some of these issues. That's what it's supposed to be.
Yes, that is exactly, because if you are employed here, you are doing what you're supposed to do, and you do it to your, it means you download yourself in. I don't think the problem will be there.
I mean, you specialize with, or you pay particular attention to persons living with HIV and AIDS. And there are a whole lot of stigma issues surrounding it. What are some of the stories that these people tell you? You're not only limited to children, right? You don't only work with children, but all persons in the space. Okay, so if you have HIV and AIDS and you need care, that's where you come in. What are some of the stories that they tell you?
The stories are so serious. Let me say this word before I continue. When we talk HIV/AIDS, you understand? When we combine AIDS, that AIDS has become another story. HIV is a virus, and somebody can live with the virus of HIV without reach to the AIDS stage.
Yes, that is the advanced level.
So let us just take HIV person. HIV person is when man realizes the wife is positive because she tests positive, she's pregnant. Automatically, the woman, what she start to face in the house is become terrible. Without even look, maybe it's the man who give that virus to the woman. Since woman is tested earlier on, and it means it's become person non grata, the person who will not be desired to be there.
Yeah.
Everybody have to put it there. It means it's a person already be withdrawn.
Of course.
And
that is what,
And there is another situation when your son, his wife die, and you realize he's died with HIV. Him still strong. You don't want anybody to know this is a situation. He can go to marry another woman. They hide that. The woman too can go to marry another man. They hide that. So it's become personal secret.
And that's where you come in as well. Apart from the supports that you're providing for them, you are creating a lot of awareness, encouraging people to come out, know their status, the issues of stigma. I know you're working towards dealing with it. Are you yourself sometimes stigmatized against because you work very closely with these people? Do you get that?
Not sometimes. All the time. Even some other people, they say, we know him. He talk all about HIV. It's not just HIV. I'm talking about the vulnerable people in society. Right. So God give me that ability to rebuild any situation what is destroyed in human being. For example, you can become a vulnerable to certain point. You need someone who can build you up and push you back to where you belong. You get it? Of course, not all a person living with HIV is their children. Those parents leave. Those is become my crying, my objective, because it's a so terrible.
Yeah, because they are orphaned because their parents eventually have passed. So
not just orphan, with the great stigma.
Indeed.
On them.
Yeah.
Is the people they can't push them when somebody come to the house, they must be always in the back of the house.
So these are some of the issues that you're dealing with. I know you have something coming up this season. Do you want to share with us the projects that you're working on?
It's a 2 projects.
Okay.
With I'm working on.
Do that in 1 minute for me, if you can.
Okay, let's go to the second project, because as you see, I see here is a Christmas tree. Everybody are preparing. I'm preparing to go to North for the 4th time now, because the situation over there is so bad. Water is become a priority for me. Water to them, the place is too dry. Hospital like at the Chiriponi, I take that hospital as I adopted that hospital. The children place is become a crying.
So you're going to the Chiriponi Children's Hospital.
I have to go.
And you're taking support, basically to put smiles on the faces of these young ones in this festive season. You're an angel. God richly bless you. Okay. All right. So listen, that's the story of Apostle Matel Gracia Silvano. He's doing amazing stuff in the space of social work, specifically with persons living with HIV and AIDS. What's your own story? What good deed have you done? The day is still young. Do something and share with us. My name is Baisiwa. I just spoke with a great man, Congolese, doing amazing stuff across the African region. The show continues, though. It's still live on GH1 TV and we're as well on channel 361 on your DSTV. It is GH Today, and when I return, some very, very interesting conversations coming your way.
Still I had to try, yeah. Oh yes, let me get my words right and then approach her. Woman, I'll treat you